Do you actually have to be on cocaine to be on this podcast?
It's a great day to be a Wildcat!
Cocaine?
Durfing?
What's up, everybody? You're listening to a brand new season of Cocaine Willie. This is episode 2. Tonight, we've got a massive transfer to talk about in Arthur Kaluma from Creighton, which, I can talk about that a little bit. Bob Trollsby's rich after a pretty awesome NBA Finals victory last night for the Denver Nuggets. And we have fan topics. We've got a ton of cocaine questions that came in from our Coke heads, Coke fiends, whatever we want to call our fans.
I like Coke boys.
Coke boys.
I like Coke boys.
Well, then, that kind of isolates the Coke girls out there.
Oh, Coke people.
We gotta be Coke inclusive.
Coke inclusive. But with that, I have to talk about the Nuggets real quick. Nuggets are NBA champs. I'm $1,200 richer. I'm drinking an ice cold Coors Light. Things are good, boys.
That'll pay for 1 month of diapers, so have fun with that.
Yeah, it will. I already cashed out the $3,800 that I made from college football this year to put towards a stroller. So that was good. Yeah, good
Government's
stuff.
coming for that ass. The government's coming for that.
Yeah, that is taxable, so whatever. Bob's locks. NBA Nuggets futures bet. Great bet. Awesome stuff. Did y'all watch the game last night?
I watched that one. Though the game before I didn't watch it, but last night's game was out of control. It was just that last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes though was just that's what tight NBA playoff basketball is. That's what you expect in the finals. That was just money. It was beautiful. Nuggets pulled out. Nuggets are a good team.
I watched the first 3 quarters, and then I was like, I'm not going to be able to stand it if the Nuggets win. So I'm just going to go to bed and wake up in the morning, and we'll see if the Heat pulled it out. But they didn't.
They did.
And
not.
I didn't want anybody to win. I didn't want anybody to win.
Because your Celtics couldn't get it done?
Yeah. Because they had to suck ass in the Game 7 they're hosting at home. I can't stand it.
That's how I feel about the Stanley Cup Finals. If it's not Florida, I don't want to see the fucking Golden Knights win it all, dude.
Okay,
Didn't they win one previously?
No, they have not, but they made it to the final in their first season.
Yeah,
I do have a nice little parlay tonight, and I need a high-scoring game that has the Golden Knights winning. And then maybe I'll be richer, and then my $1,200 can go to something that's not baby-related.
It'll just go towards your new home.
My new home.
And this is why I don't have a lock segment, because I don't have any parlays with nothing, with no money on the line.
No, you could have Chef's Locks sponsored by Prime.
Okay. Shout out
yeah,
to
because
Prime.
For those of you who are watching the YouTube feed of this, you will see that Chef is pulling his best Nick Saban impersonation, trying to get a sponsorship from Prime, which honestly I had never heard of until today.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
I drink water. I
drink water
this
and
is
beer.
10% coconut water. It's got healthy stuff in it.
I like coconut water and just drink Vita Coco or whatever.
Just drink regular water.
I'm actually not that big of a fan.
just drink regular water. Topo Chico.
You got to save it for the people that actually need it.
So we get to buy. We're going to be the upper middle class buying water like Fiji water.
Yes, we got to save the water that actually is to people that actually need it. There are starving kids in Africa right now, and you're drinking up all the water.
That's true. That is true. We don't have a ton to talk about that's actually K-State sports related today. So do we want to just dive into Arthur Kaluma?
Yeah,
that's the only news that's happened.
Really, that was our whole episode last time we we did this, and I mean, we were all up in a tizzy. We were struggling. We were on and off buses. It was a bad news. I'm glad we didn't get it on video because we were looking rough. But now we got Arthur Kaluma. I want to hear what you guys got to say about it, because you know how I feel about it.
My immediate reaction was we got a fucking dude. Like, this dude is very, very good. The one issue with him that I've seen a couple people bring up, including my father, who's incredibly bitter about the fact that Arthur, for those who don't know, my dad is a Creighton alum, played and coached baseball there. Huge Creighton fan. He was so pissed off that Arthur Kaluma chose K-State. His immediate reaction was traitor. And, a guy that's kind of sung the praises of Kaluma in the past, at least as far as the conversations I've heard from him, immediately shifted to, oh, well, he's kind of a turnover problem. He's turnover prone. To which my response was, okay, that's the same thing people said about Marquise Noel. Different positions. Granted, you're talking about a guard versus a wing, but that's the same problem that they were able to work out of Marquise Noel. So I think that if that's one of his biggest flaws, or if not his only flaw, I think he's in the right system. He's in the right coaching staff to be able to fix some of those issues.
There's a lot to like about him. I remember his freshman year and seeing some of the highlights and thinking Creighton had a really excellent player that was going to develop in that system and probably leave for the NBA early. And even last season, Creighton had a great season, made it to the Elite Eight, and he was a big contributor to that. Some of the highlights that we see just show this athleticism that is going to really, really do good things under this type of brand of basketball that this coaching staff is trying to put together. I've seen some of the highlights that get him involved in the passing game, which is good as well, and getting guys some open shots. I just think he's going to fit in so well next to Naquan Tomlin, and that's going to be a really fun 3-4 combination. Going to be probably a lot of dunks in that as well. But I do think it's a puzzle piece that changes the trajectory of this team and what they can be this upcoming season. Do I think he's a guy that automatically boosts this team up to a top 3 team in the Big 12 now? Yes, I do. And do I think in the non-conference and looking at the schedule of some of these teams we're going to play, he's going to be a guy who's going to instantly bring some scoring. He's going to bring some defensive intensity and put us in a situation where we can start off the non-conference really strong and really see how this team develops going into Big 12 play. I do think there's a couple of pieces that we're going to have to find in the transfer portal to add to this, but now it doesn't seem as aggressive anymore. Like, he's a top transfer you pick up here. You don't feel like you're under as much pressure anymore because you do have a really good nucleus now that you can build upon. So it's extremely exciting. I mean, compared to a few weeks ago when we were meeting and we're like, maybe things aren't looking so good.
No, they weren't.
No, but we saw this last year. I'm not comparing Kaluma to Keontae Johnson because I do think it's a little bit of a different scenario. But does he have the ability to bring some of the things that Keontae was able to bring when he came through to this team? I do think that. So it's very exciting.
I like your point about this becoming a top 3 team in the Big 12 because Vegas knows all, right? Vegas, the cash outs and FanDuel and stuff, they know everything and they can see the future in some cases. And my cash out, I always place a K-State futures bet to win the national championship, football and basketball. It never hits, right? But I have it just in case. And the basketball one for this coming season, the cash out was down to like $5 on a $10 futures bet. It's back up to $10 now with the addition of Kaluma. That's the only thing that's moved the needle for that. So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit that I wanted to share. Is I think the talk about this team will be, okay, they've got much higher expectations than they had, even 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, Kaluma brings something that I think this staff has been looking for to kind of mirror what they were doing, what Jerome Tang was doing at Baylor. He is what you think of when you think of Baylor, like forward stretch kind of player. Long, athletic, finishes at the rim with dunks. Those are important factors when you're playing that 3, that 4 hybrid, similar to what, Tomlin can do. He can do it, but he's in a smaller frame and he can handle the ball a little bit too. He, like you said, pairing up with Naquan, that is a duo that's going to be interchangeable on defense. That's what you want in this no middle defense that they're running. Someone that can guard the 4 through the 1, someone that can possibly guard 5 through 1, like Naquan can. So when you add Kaluma to that mix, it's just the icing on the cake, really, because if you listen to what Jerome Tang has been saying about like what people are saying about, only having 10 people on scholarship. I mean, he's saying we have 10 scholarship compared to what we had. We had like 6 at this time last year. And we've got tournament proven players on this team. So, I mean, the team, I hear Derek Young say this, and I think it's a point that not a lot of people are thinking. We're trying to replace our 2 studs in Marquise and Keontae. And like Matt said, you can't really compare Kaluma to Keontae, but 3 through 13, these guys are light years above last year's team. I mean, the freshmen, Tyke Green was kind of like in no man's land with this team last year. And you're upgrading that talent with freshmen and transfers coming in. So I think this team's going to be better. And I'll do it. I'll compare him to Keontae because that's what kind of the role that he's brought in to do. He's kind of that guy that's going to average 16, get 7 boards. And that's what he's here to do. And I'm if we could get production increase from Naquan, we're not going to get the assist numbers from Tyler Perry, but you get scoring production close to. He's going to outscore Marquise, I would assume, right? Tyler Perry is. I mean, he's a better scorer of the basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. Just based off of, what we've seen on video with him. It will be interesting to also factor Cam Carter in the equation into how this is going to go too.
Exactly.
Because while I may disagree that Kaluma and Keontae are similar in the manner that you've described, I think there's some similarities in the talent level that we're bringing in. Do their games correlate? Just based off of some of the things that I've seen, maybe not necessarily, but all that matters is scoring, right? Like,
that's the thing. It's the numbers. Is he going to put up numbers? I mean, I'm not going to assume that he's going to be able to be a walking bucket like Keontae was, because we did a lot of isolation with Keontae. But if we're in a flow in motion of our offense, can he put up numbers similar to Keontae? I think he can. Why can't he average the 15 and 7, 15 and 6?
Yeah, I think that's where
I would.
He averaged what, 12? He averaged like 12 and 6 this season at Creighton. It was something like that.
Yeah.
So
12 and 6 and 1.6 assists.
Okay, so 12 and 6. You would imagine going into your junior season that he would bump it up to like a 15 or 16 point scorer a game, maybe higher than that. The important thing is the fit in the offense, and I do think he's a perfect fit in a lot of ways, because this is going to be an offense that is going to leverage combo guards very heavily. You're not necessarily going to have a primary point guard in this scenario. You're going to have ball handlers all throughout, but it's going to be important for that movement in the offense. How is he going to move in this offense and find ways to score? It isn't necessarily going to be Tyler Perry throwing it inside and he's kind of stationed like we saw with Keontae in some scenarios. He's going to be a guy who is running throughout on the offensive side of the floor to try and get open. Or he's a guy we've seen. He can take a guy one-on-one and then get into the paint and score. So he's an exciting addition because I think he fits perfectly into what the offensive style is going to be. And if you can nail just maybe a couple additional players, role players, this can be a team that can see a similar amount of success that we saw last season.
My thing with Kaluma, and this is, I mean, I don't know how long y'all want to go on Kaluma. I think we're towards the back end of it. But with Kaluma, we're talking about the numbers and what he's averaging, what he did at Creighton. Mind you, he was the fifth option there. He was the fifth option on that team. He was getting all basically his points in transition and jump points.
Yeah, because you had Kalkbrenner ahead of him. You had Baylor Shireman ahead of him.
You had what's the guy that went to Gonzaga?
Nimhard.
And Alexander as well.
Yeah, he was the fifth option. He was kind of that, the four that would scrap and get in on the offensive glass when Kalkbrenner was getting 12 people boxing him out. He's going to see an uptick in his offensive usage, which I think is going to be huge, because even if you put him in and you divide it amongst Perry and Naquan, you're going to see an uptick in statistical output. You got to assume that the jump that he made from his freshman to his sophomore year in three-point shooting will also take an uptick, probably around 35%. Hopefully, Naquan makes the same jump. These guys they're blending a perfect roster together, in my opinion, of length, athleticism, and position versatility. That's the most important part, because even who our center's going to be next year, I don't think we're going to bring in that big bulky five as much as I wanted. What's the kid that went to TCU? I can't even remember his name anymore.
Eddie Lampkin.
Yeah, no, not Eddie Lampkin.
Oh, what's the case from KU?
Ernest Uday.
We're not bringing it as much as I wanted him. We're not bringing in that hulking five that can only guard a five. That's not going to happen with this staff. And now the writing is on the wall, and I'm seeing it through that we're going to have players that are basically like David Gasson. Mind you, we could get a higher level player than David Gasson, but someone that fits that role, that was basically a small forward that grew into a 6'10" frame and is willing to play the five, that can catch lobs, run in transition. This team is blended perfectly, and Kaluma is that piece. Like you said, Matt, we're still going to be adding more pieces. I don't know what it's going to be, because I think behind Kaluma is where we're going to be. Actually, it's going to probably be another guard, a smaller guard, to take bench minutes from, probably a Day-Day Ames that's not ready. Because if we don't get anybody else, I think it's going to have to be Day-Day Ames or RJ Jones to run, that combo guard, like you were saying. And if we can find somebody to do that, this team is way, way, way better than we were last year, in my opinion. We'll have to see it on the court, but on paper, we're a better full-length team.
So that leads me to, I had a couple questions here, and you kind of answered both of them, but just to, gun to your head, are you pleased with the current roster construction, and what other needs do you still see on this team outside of maybe that second guard?
Matt, you want to hit this, or
yeah, I mentioned it before. I mean, in a perfect world, I do think we need a backup point guard, somebody who can be kind of a pass first point guard. I know the Rutgers point guard that just transferred had K-State kind of in a team that was interested in. And then I think maybe you just go with best available. Like get a guy who's experienced, a graduate transfer who has experience on the court, similar to like how Bebe Ujiole was last season, or obviously like a guy like Desi, but just somebody with a ton of experience who can come into the locker room and really be a really positive, give positive vibes in the locker room, I think would be key. If we didn't do that, the thing that the unknowns would be, how are the freshmen going to play in their first season? What are the expectations of these three that are going to be coming in? And then Taj Manning is a guy that we've heard so many big things about. And I would say, for me, like Jarrell Colbert and Taj Manning are two guys that I can't wait to see what they can throw on the court next season, because either there's going to be a lot of really good things that we're going to be saying about how this team looks, or it's going to be, we don't have a capable guy at the 5 to back up David Gasson, and Taj Manning is just playing 8 minutes a game and not really doing much. I think those are like the worst case scenarios. So it's hard to tell with how the freshmen could be. I mean, they could be really good, and this could be a more complete team than we think right now. But compared to last week, this team looks a lot better compared to some other teams in the Big 12. That really makes me excited.
Yeah, I agree. It's all about what ifs. I think talent on paper, the talent level has increased outside of the top two. I don't think we'll ever see statistically like a true point guard like Marquise Noel. I don't know if we'll ever see those numbers. Those were video game numbers that he was putting up. But efficient wise, I think we're going to be a lot more efficient. I know that's huge for Matt. I know the efficiency is like key, because you get Marquise Noel out there spraying 12 threes and making 4 of them. That's, you're not getting very efficient. And Keontae had his moments where he was really inefficient, kind of blanking on some games. I think we're going to be a lot more efficient team, but pieces that we need to add, do we need another starter? I don't think we need another starter. I think Cam started every game last year. He was solid in his his redshirt freshman season. I think did very, very solid for what he was, and he started every game. I don't think we need another starter. Like you said, Matt, I think we need a guy that is a graduate, that is wanting to win and is willing to play backup point guard minutes, similar to Desi minutes, which somewhat turned into starter minutes in some games, and is willing to just be a nuisance on defense and distribute the ball to the playmakers that Jerome Tang has brought in. It would also be nice to have a nice set shooting white boy in the corner. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but that would be kind of cool too.
That would be. My last question on this before we move on to Q&A topics is, I heard some talk on Fremont this week about the school of thought of leaving one scholarship slot open for potential of a mid-year transfer. I know a couple of programs have done that. I think Brad Underwood is specifically the one that they referenced, where they were able to get that guy from West Virginia that transferred mid-year. Do you like that approach? Do you think we should leave one of those scholarships open just in case some disgruntled guy who gets into a system, it's a first year transfer portal guy at a Power 5 school, he's not quite getting the minutes he wants, doesn't like the system, doesn't like the coaching staff, whatever it might be, decides to bounce? Do you like that approach of leaving a scholarship spot open?
Me personally, I don't know. It's a big risk, because you could have another scholarship guy on that is, I don't want to say, like Thomas last year. That was basically our open scholarship that we used on him. Do these mid-year guys, are they hot commodities? Are they off the table like that? Or will they be around by the time the end of the season is and you can start to recruit them again? Because if they're hot commodities, then you kind of want to leave a scholarship open to bring them in. But if that's just a big risk, because you can add the numbers now and know what you're going to get, because like you said, maybe a player comes in and is not happy. What if it's one of our guys? That's a risk that you could take, and then you're down 2 scholarships. So I'd say fill them, in my opinion. And you never know, if it's a scholarship player, things happen throughout the season, you might need them. So I would say fill it.
Yeah, I would fill it. I mean, the guy that West Virginia picked up last season didn't even play. So you're basically putting yourself in this scenario where you would be bringing
I
in a
don't
guy
think they
mid.
can play, can they? Can they play?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't think they're eligible. I don't think they're
Because,
eligible if they
because
transfer
outside of the
mid-season.
window,
You have
Yeah.
to be inside the semester or something like that.
they'd have to apply for a waiver of some sort to get it
Maybe.
cleared. But
I mean, it's evident the way the coaching staff is looking at the transfer portal as we have an opportunity if we can pick somebody up before the NBA early entry is complete. That's great, aka Tyler Perry. But let's do some work when these guys decide, hey, we're going to come back to college, and that's where you get Kaluma involved, and that's where you can potentially get a couple of these other players as well. I don't think the crop of transfers is going to be very high on a midseason perspective. So it would be safe for me to, it would be safe, I would say, to just hold the scholarship and, just wait and try and find a better fit as a high school player or something along those lines. Just because I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll see this kid on West Virginia do amazing things, but I don't know.
I got one question. I want Bob to answer this as well. Okay, then we'll get to the Q&As because I know we got a lot of Q&As we got to get to. But we rode the emotional roller coaster before Kaluma came, right? We didn't know what the future was going to hold, and now that the future's here and we got our president Kaluma, we kind of got the purple shaded glasses on again. So, and like you were saying that they were kind of waiting for the NBA draft kind of players to come out. Are we painting that as a narrative for the people that they didn't get? Because there were people that they were targeting hard that they didn't get, that didn't test the NBA market. And it's similar to last year too, because he said that we're not going to rush or on any of these players. We're just going to come in and, get the kids that we want later down the road. But it's the same thing with this Kaluma kid. He was testing NBA waters, and then he comes out and we get him. But we were on other guys that we wanted before Kaluma even came out. So do we paint it purple for Jerome Tang and give him the benefit of the doubt because of the misses, or is he some grand wizard and it's all working perfectly the way he wanted it to?
I like Derek Young's perspective on this. I think it was Threema that he mentioned this on, but when you're playing in the realm of recruiting that they're playing him right now, there's going to be misses in there, and they're going to be on bigger name guys. But you lose A. Smith to Texas, which is a great program. You lose, Uday to TCU, which is a great program. We weren't really with Eddie Lampkin, but these guys that we're going after, we're playing in just a completely different realm and completely different waters than we were playing with Bruce. And so you're going to have bigger misses, and they're going to hit harder when they don't hit, but you're also going to get those big hits. You're not going to bat 1,000 every single time with each one of these guys. And to what Tang has talked about a lot is it's a lot about the culture. You want to find these guys that fit the culture. And sometimes there are going to be these big name guys, and they may not necessarily match that culture. And so we've also seen a lot of the reporting of, K-State is bowed out of the recruiting for this particular player. Maybe that's a culture thing. Maybe it's just not the right fit. So I don't think it's necessarily painting it with purple glasses, because when you think about DY, even he's not a K-State guy. He wasn't born and raised in this, fandom. And so I like his perspective on it as more of a third party observer looking from the outside in and looking at it more objectively. I think you're going to have bigger misses. They're going to hit harder when they don't hit, but they're going to hit really, really hard when they do hit. And it's going to feel great when they do, like Kaluma, like Keontae, and like Tyler Perry.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I was just wondering, because I feel like sometimes I even get in the mindset of, like, they say it's about the culture and all this stuff, but you did bring it up. That's perfect, because we had a visit set up with Collins, and then that it just dissipated, and it had to be from our end. And it's because of culture? And it's because of they knew that they wanted somebody different, and they trusted their gut, and they got Kaluma. So I mean, it all works out. however we get there, I'm gonna trust them because there's this whole big thing online is that crazy faith that the coaching staff and the team used last year, and we got to have it in this coaching staff because they come through every time.
I love it. Well, we've got a lot of Q&A topics, so I'll go ahead and kick it off. First and foremost, we're starting pretty mild. This is a pretty mild one. This isn't very spicy. We've got some spicier ones in here though. From @Scott Wildcat, shout out to Bosco's boys. First celebrity crushes. Who wants to go first?
Baby, I mean, I'll go first. Or Matt, if you want to get in here. I don't want to.
No. I don't want to strike your thunder here. I think you should go first.
Okay. I mean, first off the board, I think it's pretty universal, and that's Topanga from Boy Meets World. I think everybody was in love with Topanga. We're all around the same age group, and I mean, I don't know how R-rated we can get on this, but Topanga was on the wall. You know what I'm saying? She was on that wall. So Topanga is the first on my list. Second, Ren Stevens from Even Stevens. Love me some Ren Stevens. I don't know if it was just she could beat the shit out of Shia LaBeouf, that dominance. I kind of like that. So Ren Stevens is up on there. And then third, man, there's a lot. Before she said she didn't like guys. Before she started liking girls, I really liked Raven Simone. Raven Simone was, she was that thing. She had that thing on her, she had that hitter. So Raven Simone, that's my third.
There were so many things you said that I'm like, what does that mean?
That hitter?
A hitter in the house.
Don't Urban Dictionary that.
I'm not my work computer. I won't. All right, you gave a couple, so well, you mentioned Even Stevens, and I just thought about Hillary Duff
from Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lizzie McGuire.
She's a little older than me, so when Lizzie McGuire was on, Ren Stevens is a lot older than me too, but
yeah. And so is Topanga probably.
She's a little bit older than me, but I was catching reruns of that show, so
yeah, that's fair.
Man.
Jennifer Aniston was always one, especially with Friends.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, I know.
You were into those adult women.
Yeah, the Cougars, as they say. We're bringing in BYU, and we're talking about Cougars. So.
We're bringing in Houston too. That's two Cougars. So.
Oh shit, they're Cougars too, huh? Damn it.
Well, they're Cougars.
I would rather mention
it's a good thing Kirk Schultz and Washington State are just going to go to the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Then we have three Cougars in the conference.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Those were pretty good. I'm ready to hear what Bob has to say.
First and foremost, Natalie Portman. She was.
Wow. Yes. We're talking adult women now. She was an adult. You guys your celebrity crushes were adults. You weren't into kids,
dude. When Community first came on too, that was Allison Brie was on that list for me. Little Annie Adderall from Community.
I never watched Community.
You never watched Community? Donald Glover and Joel McHale.
Childish Gambino, and
she's married to. She just got married.
She's married to Dave Franco.
Franco, yes. Yeah. She's married to a Franco.
And then
I like Allison Brie. She's hot.
I have to agree with Matt on the Jennifer Aniston on Friends.
You guys,
those reruns would come on at right after dinner growing up, and we as a kid sit there and watch it, and I was like, oh, she looks nice.
Like Mila Kunis, when That 70s Show is going on.
Okay, but she's pretty. I like that.
I was probably 12 or 13 when that show was on.
That's true. I'll tell you another one. Jessica Biel from Seventh Heaven. My God, boy, let me tell you.
Never even knew she was on Seventh Heaven. I don't think I ever watched that.
What?
Wait, you never watched Seventh Heaven growing up? It had these religious undertones.
Oh, no undertones. It was all.
Yeah, it had these religious undertones, but they weren't undertones. But
Yeah.
the guy who was like the pastor like got in trouble for something.
Yeah, it's all messed up on that show. But I would
Yeah.
only watch that because I would get home from school and it was the show that was right on before Dragon Ball Z. So I had to deal with it. So I would stare at Jessica Biel the entire time, like, my God. Jeez.
Dragon Ball Z, though, that was a great show. That show was sick.
Pokemon for the win.
All of it. I watched all of it.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
I traded some
Yu-Gi-Oh!
cards back in my day. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Cards, That show was so weird. It was great though. Loved it. Next question from @Jeff_Burkhart, host of College and Kimbo. Kimball. You can go back in time but can't alter the past. What event would you go back and witness? This can be anything. He didn't specify sports or otherwise. So what event would you witness?
Man, that's tough. It didn't have to be sports. And I could alternate. I can't alternate, or I can alter it.
You can't alter it.
You can't alter it.
Yeah.
You're just an observer.
I'll give a sports one real quick. I would want to see the national championship. I want to be on that corner end zone when Vince Young runs it in versus USC. I want to see that in person right there on the corner of the end zone. And then for me, I would want to see like an assassination, like maybe JFK's assassination. I would want to see that. Like, where did the bullet come from? Was it a magic bullet? Was there 3 shooters? Was there somebody on the
depository? Everybody knows where it came from.
It's the 6th floor.
Yeah.
I would want to see that, and I would want to be like right on the grassy knoll to see if like somebody actually shot from there or whatever. Yeah.
Ooh. The sports moment for me would probably be one of like the basketball championship games, like the Leitner shot or the Chris Jenkins shot.
That the Villanova one?
The Villanova one.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
That
whole series right there with North Carolina hitting the 3 and then fucking Jenkins coming down and hitting it.
Yeah.
God, that would have been nuts, dude. That's a great answer.
That would have been a cool one. I think just a regular. That's hard because I don't give a shit about anything. Oh man, I don't know. My brain is so enveloped in sports that I don't know. I don't care about anything else.
That's fine. That's fine. That can be your answer. I would probably. I've got 1 or 2 answers for the sports side. I would love to go back to 1985 and watch the Royals in the World Series against the Cardinals in 1985. I feel like that would have been a cool moment to be able to experience that in Kauffman Stadium. The other one, it's also sports related, like Super Bowl I or Super Bowl IV with the Chiefs in it. Super Bowl I would just be cool to be able to see like that Packers team versus that Chiefs team, because this guy smoking a cigarette behind me was on the sideline smoking a cigarette, drinking a Fresca. Shout out to Len Dawson, R.I.P.
You would be like, this is the slowest game of football I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
And then, I mean, Super Bowl IV, though, you got the Purple People Eaters from Minnesota going down against the Chiefs. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see some of the greats in their prime in person, just because, like, the footage that you see of those games and stuff, it's super slow-mo and whatever. It just looks like garbage.
I don't know. They were really good, though.
Yeah. But from a non-sports standpoint, I'd probably say, like, I don't know. I think about this a lot, but the asteroid that killed all the dinosaurs. Like, if I could also not be harmed and just watch that happen, that'd be fun.
Well, I'd imagine you couldn't, because, I mean, you're traveling back in time. So are you really even there? I don't know. I was going to steal Matt's because Matt didn't use one for his, like, real life one. So I was going to say when the Egyptians built the pyramids. I would want to see that shit too.
Oh,
you mean
that's
when
kind of like you
little bugger.
Yeah. My sports one, I'm going back. I want to see 2004 Game 5 of the Red Sox Yankees series, and the Game 5 it went to like 1 a.m, and
was
the Red Sox won.
Bloody Sock Kurt Schilling game?
No.
Same playoff run though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody Sock was game 7. That was at Yankee Stadium, game 7.
Okay.
Or no, it would have been
nuts.
game 6. Whatever one that went into, and Brian Roberts or Dave Roberts had the steal, and then they scored. I was like 14, 13 years
Bryant
old.
Roberts, Baltimore Oriole great.
No, not Brian. Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts.
The next
Yeah.
one from Jeff Burkhart. What is your greatest personal sports accomplishment? I'll get this kicked off. I don't fucking have one. It's probably learning how to ski and being able to get up to like 50 miles an hour on skis and being able to do black diamonds and shit now. That's pretty fun. That's probably my greatest personal accomplishment, is like being able to actually be a proficient skier.
Yeah, I have no individual sports moments individually, like an individual sports, but team sports, playing football for Groveport Madison and being the first team in like 35 years to win a playoff game. So that was pretty cool my senior year, but no individual. I'm talentless really. So.
All right, boys, strap in. So my greatest accomplishment will be probably my senior year of high school. So I threw shot put and discus for the track team. We had a really good track team at my high school, Colony High School. And there are a small handful of track meets through the year, invitational track meets, that would put on a special event for the throwers to run a 4x100 meter race.
Oh, Lord.
And so during the meets, we would do our shot put discus, but then every team would field a 4x1 relay. So all of the fat people are running the race.
Okay.
And so we had 3 of us who were like bigger guys. And the 4th was a decathlete who also threw and was the fastest sprinter on the team.
Damn.
And so we 3 started, I started the race.
Oh, you were
he was the last leg. And by leg 3, the leg 3, we were in 2nd or 3rd place or something like that. And then he gets the baton and just completely rails the other teams. And we win by 3 or 4 seconds.
Wow.
And so I still have the medal of the Fat Boy Relay. Yeah, we got medal. Yeah, of course.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Is that just at your high school, or did every high school that was at that track meet do it?
No, yeah, it was. They did heats and everything.
That's awesome.
Yo, number 1. I was number 1. I was the number 1 sprinter.
I love that. That's so cool.
That's pretty sick.
Next question is from the Rodeo Cat, current student ambassador at real_Ethan Brown. What ingredient that is not typically in salsa should be in salsa? I've got an answer for this, and it's a salsa that we bought recently. It's got bacon in it.
Okay.
Pretty good. Bacon, not salsa.
My only issue with bacon, like a cured meat that you would want to eat crispy, is if you put it in a salsa, it's no longer crispy. And I don't like chewy bacon. I don't like chewy bacon. So, I mean, that would be my only negative to that. But the flavor profile in with a bacon salsa, I could get down with that. I could get down with that. Mine, obviously everybody's gonna go with mango. That's kind of like everybody's I
would almost eliminate mango from being an option for this, because mango salsas are everywhere.
Yeah, but that the only reason they sell them like that is because people think that's unique. It's a mango salsa. Watermelon salsa. Fire. Absolute fire. We had this discussion, Matt. We didn't have it with, salsa, but watermelon with tahini. Tahini as a flavor agent in there with some cilantro, a little bit of red onion, lime juice to splash it up. the watermelon, it's when you get a nice firm watermelon in there, medium dice it, man, it's just perfect, dude. It's perfect.
Love a nice firm melon.
Oh, baby. Topanga, where you at?
It's a whatever. What did you call Raven Simone?
That hitter, baby.
Hitter. It's a hitter. This question, I have no idea, because I was just saying, you said watermelon, and I was like, I don't think I've ever had watermelon as a salsa.
Oh, it's so good.
I was originally thinking like an apple scenario, like finely diced apples with like some jalapenos and
yeah, you could definitely do that.
Maybe like a green tomatillo situation.
The thing about apples, the acidity saves the color for them. And you're right. I mean, you use a Granny Smith apple, because people kind of use it for a slaw. If you could use it in a slaw, you could definitely make it a salsa. So I'm right there with you, Matt. I haven't had an apple salsa, but I mean, all the flavors could go with a nice sour Granny Smith apple julienne into a salsa. You sold me, baby.
You make that, and then report back and let us know how it is.
I'll make it this weekend.
Yes, Chef will make it, because I will fuck it up.
I'll post it on the Twitter.
All right, from the Alley Cat, Connor Balthazar. If you could schedule a non-con series with another Power 5 school that we haven't played,
what the fuck? What just happened?
Oh well, you're back.
Is that me?
That was you.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna move you back to your rightful place on the screen. If you could schedule a non-conference series with another Power 5 school that we haven't played in this century, who would you pick? And he doesn't specify here football or basketball. I would specify football here.
Right.
And so this century means in the last 100 years or in the 2000s?
Let's say the 2000s.
I was like, I gotta search the fucking book for this. I actually
the current century, the 21st century.
This one was tough because there's two schools that I had in mind, but I'm gonna pick one. I would like to play Penn State.
Ooh. Damn. That's a good answer.
My buddy from work went to Penn State, and he talks about how great Penn State is and everything. Obviously, sweeping under the rug his college years, but I would love to play a game there. I'd love to watch a game there, and it would be really cool to see us play there. And then, I mean, they're a huge name that you would bring to Manhattan for a game. So Penn State was the one that I decided upon on this one.
Only problem is that you wouldn't get the whiteout game for them if we did play at
they played Auburn that one year, and they did the whiteout game for Auburn.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure the whiteout game was the year they played Auburn. Now we're not Auburn, but
dude, take it easy.
Yeah.
That is a really good answer. I was also thinking Big Ten. I was thinking Minnesota for the regional aspects, and I would hope. And you know how we had that Grim Reaper meme going around K-State? I hope we would be like the axe to go on PJ Fleck. That would be pretty. What do they use? A sisal? No, what is that shit called?
A scythe.
Whatever a sisal is. A scythe right to PJ Fleck's neck. That'd be pretty cool. I like Minnesota, but Penn State's a way better answer. So you kind of fucked me on that one. You win.
Well, I like this question a lot from Connor because it makes you think about what are some of the conferences that we typically schedule for non-conference, and we've had traditionally quite a few in the SEC. You think about Mizzou, Vandy, Auburn had the home and home with us, and
ACC. Miami.
I'm Big Ten. Because we rarely, if ever, play teams from the Big Ten, and when we do, it's a bowl game situation. So my answer for this is Wisconsin. I've heard great things about Madison. Luke Fickell's going to probably turn that program around from where it was the last couple of years. And I've heard great things about going to games there. So I'd love to experience Madison, have a reason to go up there for that.
I would want ours. I would want, if we were to play Minnesota, they have a home. They have a campus stadium right now.
Yeah, they do.
I would want to play them in the Twin Stadium, though. I'm a baseball field
Twin
kind
Stadium
of
or the Viking Stadium?
Ooh. That's a good
No.
question.
No
They
to both.
don't play in the Metrodome anymore, Jeff.
I'd want to play in the whatever City Field. No, it's not City Field. Is it City Field?
No, it's Target Field.
Target Field. I'd want to play there.
Got to brush up on
guys.
your American League Central lore.
Target Field. I like playing on baseball, like in baseball fields. I like that. I think it's cool. I don't care what none of you guys think.
Look, everybody has the things that they like and appreciate that others don't, and I have to appreciate and respect every opinion you have.
Oh, and shout out to the Aggieville Alley Cats. Play Sandstorm. I appreciate the question.
We love the A-Cats. All right, next question from our guy Coley Dub. Collectively, this might be difficult. Collectively agree, and this is also going to take a long time. Collectively agree and create a list containing every 2023 Big 12 team if they were a cocktail.
I figured we would just do 2 each because that's a lot. That's 14 schools.
That is a lot.
And I don't know 14 cocktails, to be honest.
And I'd like to know where you got let's do 2 each out of 14 schools. Can you please tell me?
I'm not saying I'm saying we don't do 14. We do 6.
We picked 2 schools each.
Yes.
I understand.
Okay. I am on board with that. All right.
Did that not make sense coming out of my mouth?
No.
Okay.
I heard that, I think, the same way that Matt heard it, which was like we're doing 28 different cocktails.
Yeah. I was like, wait, no.
No. 2 schools each, not 2 cocktails per school.
All right. I'll start with BYU. It's a Spindrift.
What's that?
With us. Oh no!
It is a
sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
Oh,
with a twist of lime.
Okay. I like that. I'm gonna go with West Virginia, and we're just gonna do let's do this one. Let's do the fucking Smoky Mountain fucking Orange Sickle Moonshine.
Whoa.
That's a good choice.
How was that?
Oh, dude, look at all these flavors. Look at this strawberry shortcake. That's fucking fire.
Wow.
Chocolate covered strawberries. That's fire. What else we got? This one's kind of it's kind of a little thick on my part, a little butter pecan.
No.
But the orange sickle's really good too.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my West Virginia.
So wait, so are we doing just one school and 2 cocktails for one school, or do we?
No, we're just going one at a time.
Okay, we're rotating. So my first one, I'm gonna go TCU. It's gonna be Jungle Juice with roofies in it.
Oh
God.
I mean, they hired a Bryles. Art Bryles was also in their facility this week.
Kendall Bryles.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty on brand. Pretty on brand at this point.
Iowa State's going to be room temperature Natty Light.
Oh my God. Damn, baby.
It's a little on the nose.
It's so on the nose.
With a spritz of lime.
Damn, hold on. I gotta figure out something real quick. Damn it, I can't remember what the name of that drink is. Oh my God, what is it called? I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but I think it's called the Queen's Wrath cocktail for Cincinnati, for the Queen City. Queen's Wrath.
Okay.
Queen's Wrath cocktail. Oh, Queen's Wrath cocktail.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Wine, lemon, and egg white.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.
That sounds horrible. I'll do UT next. It's going to be a ranch water.
Okay.
That's the best drink out of everything we've named.
Yeah.
I've learned about ranch water since this podcast.
It's so good though.
It's great.
For funsies, what would we agree is Kansas State's?
A Nancy. If that even counts as a cocktail? No, so the Pirate Nancy that Matt and I created.
Pirate Nancy.
Nancy.
Or a dirty Pirate Nancy if you're getting real frisky at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Care to
Do you know-
explain for the uneducated?
So way back when we would play Nancy Roulette at So Long Saloon, and you're in a group of people, and you would order 5 Nancy's for your table of 5, and you would tell the wait staff that one of them needed a shot of vodka in it. We wanted it a dirty Nancy. And then they would put all of them on the table, and you mix them around, and whoever got stuck with the Nancy with the vodka lost, but technically won because there's more alcohol. And then I don't know about the pirate one, but maybe somebody recommended that.
Wasn't that 2017, and isn't it with Malibu? Like it's like 2017.
Correct.
I mean, we went back and we ordered it, and we're like, "This is actually really fucking good."
Yeah.
And then they put it on the menu.
And then they put it on the menu and did not give anybody credit.
No.
So if anybody at So Long is listening, these two. Oh, there we go. I got a point.
For the record, we created the Pirate Nancy and the Dirty Pirate Nancy.
So
I like that.
Play Nancy Roulette with your friends. That's the whole tip out of this whole deal.
Do we want to just do 3 schools instead of 6, and just wrap it up on this next one?
I
don't have any more.
I'm looking at the list of schools and thinking about who we have. I'm gonna pick Baylor, and it's gonna be Dr. Pepper with vanilla vodka, right?
Yeah.
Like a float, like that's their thing, is the Dr.
yeah.
Pepper floats. So
Okay.
I just created a drink off the top of my head. Call me a
You
mixologist.
could do a flaming Dr. Pepper if you want to get real boozy with it. Just like amaretto that's lit on fire or something.
Texas Tech would probably be like a pickleback shot.
Or a Bloody Maria.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody Maria.
Oh no, the actual drink of Lubbock is the Chilton, which is kind of like a ranch water but with lemon and vodka.
Chilton cocktail.
I like
lemon juice and soda water.
Good. Yeah, I like the Chilton. It's good stuff.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, good drink. Very refreshing. Did we lose Chef?
No, you didn't lose me. I was looking up. I was looking up drinks for the most expensive drink at Disney World, but I couldn't find anything with alcohol.
It's something with that stupid pineapple Dole Whip that everybody fucking loves.
I was
with
thinking
rum on
also they had, because at Disney World in Florida they have the Harry Potter things, right? They have the
that's at
right?
Universal Studios. Yeah,
that's kind of the same thing.
Butterbeer.
That's why I was going to go butterbeer for UCF.
All right. I feel like we're good on that one. Sorry, Cole, we didn't go through all 14 teams, but that would have taken an hour in and of itself. The next one from Carlson Swede. Would you rather win a championship in football or basketball? I'm gonna go. I would like to win any championship at this point, and I think the path of least resistance is basketball. So I'm gonna go with basketball.
I would go
rather
football.
win a football one, but I think the most realistic one is basketball. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I think everything you said is correct. It would be more obtainable in men's basketball, but with a 12-team playoff in football, let's say, for instance, we got an automatic, we won the Big 12, and we had one loss. Would we be a top 4 team and have a bye? Or would we be a home team? And would it be easier? I just don't know. It's just the top end talent in football is so hard to beat. Example, TCU beats Michigan and then gets absolutely curb stomped by Georgia. So would it be impossible to beat Georgia or an Alabama or Ohio State? I don't know. But basketball would be more obtainable, but I would much rather win one in football. It's just, I don't know. Winning the tournament is fun as fuck, though. That is one fun ride. So I don't know. It's tough. It's not as far away as you would think. But I still think it would be football for me.
as the resident lover of basketball, I'm automatically picking the NCAA tournament. I just, for me, the luster of March Madness like reigns supreme for me. And so just kind of going through and, I mean, ultimately your team has 5 games, like, 5 more games. And there's just an excitement about it that I don't think college football beats. That's just my opinion. A lot of people probably disagree, but I just love the magic of March Madness, and so I would absolutely love to see us win that.
You're gonna get 3 tournament games in football now.
Yeah, you are. I just think it's different for football. There's something about it that's different with the playoff that basketball brings more parity, which is exciting because if you think about it, I mean, in the way that we kind of routed our season, like there was a lot of parity with how our route got there, but that's the fun part about it. I mean, versus football, I'm not saying like I think the 12-team playoff is good for schools that don't historically have the capability to get to the top 4, but it's going to be hard to say until we see it. But do I think a 12 seed is going to be beating a 1 in football pretty frequently? I don't. I think we're not necessarily going to see a ton of parity with it. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
You're definitely not wrong. I mean, we can get into the whole discussion about it. I don't think we need to, but it's not about who's going to win championship and giving the smaller guy a chance like it is in basketball. Like in basketball, you get conferences that never even see the light of day of playing like Power 6 conferences enough to even establish themselves of how good they could be. And then when they get into the tournament, they can make deep runs. In football, you're talking still about the top 12 teams in the country. So it's not like it's not anything that we haven't seen before. In football, it's literally just a money grab to, get more college football. So it sucks. But if you win it and you're the first team to win, your 3 consecutive games, and if it's K-State, the talk on that would never end.
Never.
Like in basketball, in 5 or 6 years, maybe a national championship would subside. Maybe not because we're rivals with KU and we can hold that in their faces too. But in football, that would never, ever, 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 ever die. Like we would talk about that for the rest of our lives.
Think about this too. You've got a head coach in Chris Kleiman, who's one of the few coaches in FBS who's actually had to go about this on a regular basis and go through the process of doing a multi-game playoff.
This is even more. He has to win. Doesn't he have to win like 4? He had to win like 4 games because he had 1 bye and then
4 teams, I think, right? In
that's
FCS.
Fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah. So imagine the entire top 25 getting a bid. Essentially, the entire top 25 getting a bid to a tournament and having to play it out. But I mean, no better guy to have at the helm than Chris Kleiman. So fingers crossed, things keep going the way they've been going. We could have an at-large bid or one of those automatic bids, and that'd be pretty fun time.
Yeah, Matt.
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
No,
it's subjective. It's a subjective thing. But
I've always enjoyed basketball more than football, and so for me, it's always like basketball. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all it's a win-win no matter what. If you win a championship at K-State, dude, I just want to get that monkey off our back, man. How fucking oh, God.
That would be nice. It would be nice.
These motherfuckers from like the fucking 50s and shit are claiming top national championships and like throwing it in people's faces. God damn it. Can't we just have one?
We could, if we really wanted to, we could claim a championship because we finished first in the country after losing in the NCAA tournament in the 50s at one point. So we could, if we really wanted to, we could claim a national championship. So fuck Texas A&M and all these other schools that go out there and claim these like championships from the 20s in football and the teens in football. It's like, come on, give me a break. We could go on about that, but for the next question we've got from Dylan Stoss at Uncommon Samoan, our good buddy Dylan Stoss. Is there a better sandwich than the BLT? My answer is there are probably better sandwiches, but from a seasonal standpoint, I love a BLT in the spring and the summer. It's a sandwich that we've got in our rotation regularly at home for just like a quick, easy dinner. And it's nice and satisfying. It's good. Get some good Duke's mayo and stuff on there. It's a good sandwich.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, fuck you. Are we gonna say that was not the question? You need to answer the question first.
No, because if a hot dog is a sandwich,
then a hot dog is better than a BLT.
Like a good Nathan's hot dog with grilled onions.
I would say there's probably 7 or 8 sandwiches that are better than a BLT. You got a lot of things going on in a BLT. I mean, you think it's just 4 ingredients, but realistically, I mean, if I had to rank it, I would probably put BLT at like 6, and then PB&J is number 1. That is the number 1 sandwich in my opinion.
Okay, that is the one I would have picked if everybody said hot dogs weren't sandwiches. I would have said that.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich is the king of sandwich.
If a hot dog is not a sandwich, let's operate on that.
PBJ would be my number 1.
Okay.
PB&J is number 1. Then you've got sandwiches like Cuban sandwiches, absolute fire missile.
A Reuben.
Reubens are absolute firecrackers. Man, you've got chopped sandwiches, absolute money. You could if that's what I try to tell people. Like if you've got sandwiches at home and you don't have sliced bread, let's say you've got hoagie rolls or something like that, get all the shit in your fridge, your lunch meat, your vegetables, and put it on a counter. Put a little bit of mayo in there, chop that shit up, and then put it in a hoagie roll. That is a top-notch sandwich.
Dude, a Philly? I would put a Philly probably above a BLT, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah. Philly cheesesteak above that for sure. A chopped cheese.
The Z-Man?
A what?
The Z-Man from...
Here we go. We're starting it up, aren't we?
No, we'll get to that later. I'm just saying, those are all sandwiches.
Italian sausage and pepper sandwich.
Oh, my God. Dude, an Italian beef?
Beef.
A French dip. Give me a French dip. I like a French dip.
Great sandwiches.
I would put those above BLT sandwiches. But BLT is a great sandwich. It's just lacking. It's got a lot going on, but it is lacking. It's a very light sandwich. You have to load it with bacon if you want some sustenance from that. But if you have homegrown,
you can throw some.
I mean, you can grilled cheese. Hell, I forgot about grilled cheese. Give me that at 2. But BLT, you get your own garden tomatoes, your own garden lettuce. You get your Insta Bake, and you bake your own loaf of bread, slice it up, go down to your butcher, get you some, fat, thick sliced bacon. Then you're talking a real BLT. But if you're just throwing it from your Kroger or your Hy-Vee or whatever you guys have out there, BLT is not cutting it.
Here's another sandwich I'd probably rank above a BLT is a banh mi.
A what?
Ooh.
Like a really fucking good banh mi.
Ooh.
What the hell's that?
You've never had a banh mi? Dude, you're a chef and you don't know what a banh mi is? My God.
Remind me.
It's like a Vietnamese sandwich with it's on French bread with some type of protein, and then it's cucumbers, carrots,
kimchi.
No. A true Vietnamese one would have like pate smeared. That would be the sauce, like not the sauce, but the and then fresh jalapenos.
Fresh jalapenos,
fresh jalapenos.
Yeah.
Never had
that on there.
Funny.
I have one last week from a place here that's they threw some vermicelli noodles on there too, like some fresh vermicelli noodles, and it added
You're
just
carb loading, baby.
add a little
Bread
bit
and
more to it.
noodles.
The problem that I have with the BLT, I just thought about this, is for everything that Chef just said to make it a good sandwich, it would take like 3 days. Like you gotta bake the bread and you gotta grow heirloom tomatoes, and then you can't get shitty bacon. You gotta get really nice bacon that's probably $30 a pound. Like, and you gotta literally use the whole pound.
Listen, it's just simple sandwiches like that. You either have to have like a childhood memory of them, and I wasn't a BLT guy when I was a kid because I didn't like tomatoes when I was a kid. I do like them now, and I definitely wasn't eating lettuce because it was green. So BLTs just weren't in my rotation when I was a kid. But grilled cheese and peanut butter and jellies, there's nothing about those could be bad. So that's the only reason that they're lower on my list. Now BLTs might be your jam, and I there's no bad sandwiches. I've never had a bad sandwich.
Tuna salad, egg salad.
Oh, give me a two. Egg? Are you kidding? You're joking, right?
Not a huge
No.
fan.
Those are ugh. Oh.
Not a fan.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, I get it. I understand. I look at your faces and I know now.
I guess to answer the question for Dylan, there are better sandwiches than BLTs. BLTs are high on the list, but there are better sandwiches. I think we've reached a consensus there. We have a bunch of questions from the Victory Pickle King at Evan D. Shananalack. So we'll start with his first one, which is similar to a previous question that we answered already, but a little bit different. How many basketball championships is worth a football championship to you?
1.25.
I was going to say like 2. So similar, I guess.
That's how close they are. I mean, I wouldn't even need. I mean, 1 and 1. It's almost that. It's almost like that. It's that close to me. But football is king, so I'll give it 1.25.
1 and 1. 1 and 1.
1 and 1.
1 and 1.
0.5 and 1 for you. 0.5 and 1.
Yeah. Who cares about football?
His next question: if you could add one NFL Wildcat to this year's team, who would you add and why? And again, he didn't specify like current NFL or any Wildcat from the NFL. I'm going to specify current NFL rosters, Wildcats on those rosters.
Okay. I thought about this for actually a little bit, and what was like Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the answer.
I think he would pair really well with Malik. You could use him, and I mean, I would say he's a little bit better than Phillip Brooks. So you'd use him in the punt return game and as a slot guy. So I was thinking Tyler Lockett pretty heavily on this one.
I think that's the obvious answer, and I think you're 100% correct. But if we're gonna exclude him from this conversation because he is going to be probably he could potentially be a Hall of Famer at wide receiver for the Seahawks, I'm gonna go with guys that just left. Give me Felix. Put Felix back on this team. He's an NFL guy. Out of, shit. I mean, we do have some strong Khalid Dukes back. Do we have any safeties in the NFL? I mean, other than Josh Hayes?
Russ Yeast.
Other than Russ Yeast.
I forgot about DJ Reed, but I know he's not a safety, but because he is starting for the Jets now.
That is a good answer.
I did forget about DJ Reed.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like our corners. I like Parrish and I like Will Lee. I think Felix is the answer for me. You can never have too many D linemen, so I'm going to go Felix. Bring me Felix back.
Yeah, I was probably going to say Felix, to be honest.
Yeah, Felix or Tyler Lockett. I mean, it's Tyler Lockett. Then, you got your Felix. And then, how cool it would be because we don't know how well. We don't know how well. I mean, we know how good Hadley Panzer is, and we don't know what Taylor Portier is going to be off of his second knee. Maybe we bring in a Cody Whitehair.
Oh, you know who else would be a good option is Ty Zentner, because we do not know what we're getting into with Chris.
Give me McCrane from the XFL.
Yeah.
Either or. I would take any of them just to have a little bit of a security.
If you had to add one XFL or USFL player to the team, who would we pick?
Matt McCrane.
Or what's his Bradley Moore?
No, I like over. I mean,
you play two tight ends?
Yeah, we do play two tight ends quite a bit, and Bradley Moore was a dog with, damn, Bradley Moore was good.
Wasn't Ryan Mueller in the XFL?
Yeah, he was.
Is he still?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a fullback and defensive end for the Arlington Renegades.
Oh.
Versatile.
Getting dangerous there.
Well, we don't use a fullback anymore, so no more offense for him.
Sorry, Christian Moore. Sorry, Jax Deneen.
Yeah.
Okay, if his next question, switch out Marquise Noel for Jacob Pullen on last year's team. How much does the season change?
Oh, I'm Debbie Downing this. Are
you about to poo-poo Jacob Pullen?
I am not going to poo-poo Jacob Pullen, but I will say that watching him play in my time at K-State, you take out Marquise Noel, we don't really have a true point guard. It would have to be him. It would have to be Jake. And I don't think that's not his strength when he played at K-State. Like, he was such a great guard off the ball. And so I actually poo-poo this. As great of a player Jacob Pullen is, I don't think he would not have fit into this team enough to where we would have been as successful.
How? I mean, okay, you say that, but what does that mean? Where are we at? That's the answer.
We don't have a point. We don't have a true point guard.
But okay, but where do we finish? Are we not an Elite Eight team? Are we not a tournament team?
I bet we finished third in the Big 12 this season. We're in that mid-tier pack of the Big 12. There are how many teams that finished 9 and 8 this season? We're in that tier, and we'll make the NCAA tournament. I would say the Sweet 16 is the ceiling.
Okay.
I don't know if the season changes all that much personally. Like, if you just look from front to back in the regular season, but I would agree that I don't think the team goes as deep in the NCAA tournament strictly because when you look at what Marquise did in the NCAA tournament, I mean, that dude broke records and set records that had never even been touched before by some players. And Jacob Pullen, I love everything that he did for K-State, but he wasn't breaking records in the NCAA tournament for whatever that's worth. So I think I agree with you, Matt. I think maybe the regular season, I might disagree with you there. I think maybe the regular season's about the same and the team lands around the same spot, like 3rd to 5th in the conference, but makes the tournament, but first or second round dismissal probably.
It just really depends on who we play. But if, let's say, we drew the same team, let's just say, for instance, we drew the same team, like Bob says we had the same regular season. Let's say we drew the same teams. Do we beat Kentucky without Marquise Noel?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Do we beat Michigan State?
Gets over that hump in a way that Marquise does.
I mean, he was probably 85% of the offense. Scoring and facilitating.
Did Pullen have the ability to do that? Yeah, he absolutely had the ability to do that. But if you look at what he did in the NCAA tournament, he never did anything like what Marquise did.
Look up his high assist numbers. I bet you he didn't get over 11.
Jake?
Yeah.
In a game? I would.
There's no way he got over 11.
I don't
see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking his senior year. Like, his senior year, he was tasked to be a little bit more of a heavier point guard, like, usage-wise. And, like, even in the big games that he had, like KU or whatnot, He scored a ton of points in that game. Like I don't know what his career high in assists is in a game.
So on the K-State website, his single game. Oh wait, his single game high in high school was 15 assists.
Well, he was dropping dime, baby, in Chicago.
I'm not seeing it at first glance, but every single year it's saying like he dished out 5 or more assists X number of times. So I would say maybe he didn't hit the 11 assist mark, but we need to dig in and do some research on it.
But I would say this. If I'm gonna play devil's advocate to you.
It was 8. His season high in 2010 was 8 assists
at Iowa State.
Yep.
Okay, let's say for instance that he had his best facilitating games every game of the tournament. I think that he could. I mean, he had the most heart of anybody that's played at Kansas State ever. He had the most heart. He was an incredible basketball player. He is arguably our best basketball player career-wise. So I'm not going to knock the guy, and I'm not going to poo-poo him like you two, K-State haters. I'm going to say that he could get us to an Elite 8. Just depends on the matchup.
Career high was 11 assists. So 11 right on the nose. It was against Gardner Webb in 2008.
Okay.
That was freshman. Yeah, his freshman year.
He definitely has
his sophomore year. His sophomore year. December of 2008.
Oh man, that was my freshman year. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Gardner
brother.
Webb.
Similar to the last question, which Bruce era guy do you think would be the best fit for Tang's coaching style? So this would eliminate pulling from contention here.
This got a lot of people talking on Twitter, man.
It did, and my answer was I had a few guys, but Wesley Iwundu was the first one that came to mind for me. I think he would. I mean, that would have been fun, and seeing that, you know, he's become a guy that's got NBA caliber talent. Like being able to have that in Tang's system, as we've learned, is paying off dividends. So I would love to see him in this system with the coaching ability that Tang and company have.
Mm.
Chef, you can go next because I hope you pick one of mine so I can take the other because I have two.
Well, I'm going to take the obvious one. I'm going to take Dean. I think Dean would. I mean, Tang saw him firsthand. He's a guy that could play the 5 in Tang's system, stretch the floor. I mean, if Gasson had the shot that Dean Wade has from 3, this team would be unbeatable. Dean Wade on this team, you put him on this roster with Tyler Perry. I mean, their driving lanes are open for all day. He could bang inside and play the 5 a little bit. We're not asking him to be all defensive Big 12. Give me Dean Wade. He'd be a fucking stud, dude.
Damn, you didn't take the 2, so...
What? There's 2 other guys that you wanted other than Dean Wade?
There are, yes.
Give me
Barry
both
Brown.
of them.
Barry Brown.
Ooh. Hey, especially for this team. Yeah.
Especially for this team. He was a very good scorer, obviously, in the mid-range. He had a good shot overall, but a very good defender. You could play him at the 2 or the 3. I think he would fit in this team. I was also thinking Xavier Sneed in this as well, because of the athleticism and a great 3-point shooter, very active on the boards.
My thing is he's just not a ball handler, and where are you going to put him? You're asking Naquan to play the 5.
But then I think about it, like in Xavier Sneed's last season, who was holding on to the basketball? Like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's something that he would have some things he'd have to work on in the offense, but I think just with the sheer athleticism, I think he would fit in well. So I'd pick one of those 2. I'd probably pick Barry over Xavier Sneed, but it's very close for me. It's very close.
My list that I gave on Twitter was West was the first one that came to mind for me. Rodney would be great to see in the system. It'd just be fun to see him in that environment. I've got Dean on there, and then I've got Snead as well. But
Snead would be fun, but I think Barry Brown would be the way better fit. He would be another ball handler to get the ball out of Tyler's hands and facilitate him. He is an excellent slasher. I think he's everything that Cam Carter could be, but it's just too different. I mean, just two different dog mentalities.
I also thought Cam Stokes for a little bit.
Yeah,
I did, because he would be a guy that you can have at the 1, and Tyler Perry can play the 2 off the ball, but he can be Tyler Perry can be a ball handler, but Cam was a very good facilitator in that offense. And he was a little bit, he shot the ball. He was a streaky shooter. But he had offensive ability to get in the paint and also make some shots outside. So I did think for a split second, Cam Stokes would probably be in my top 5.
Another underrated Nigel Pack. What if we actually get to see Nigel Pack in that offense? And maybe we'll get to see what that could look like what that could have looked like with Tyler Perry. But
damn, Nigel Pack, I forgot about his sorry ass, man. Damn.
Yeah, he got to play in the fucking Final Four, so.
Nobody said Selton Miguel or
Almay Ween.
What was Will Spradling a Bruce guy, or was he?
Yes.
Will did play for Bruce. Yeah.
I would honestly give Will Spradling a second glance. That is a guy that would come off the bench at the guard spot and give you a solid 15 minutes holding it down with his baggy shorts. And he'll cross you up.
Will Spradling, oh man!
Let's not forget that he dropped Joel
Embiid.
Yeah, he dropped him. He dropped his ass.
Oh God, Will Spradling. Oh my God, what is this podcast going to?
I don't know. Now he's coaching, I think, high school basketball, and
I think it's St. Mary's.
Yeah. All right, the last question from Evan Shannon. Rank each of your top 5 fandoms, and feel free to split up men's basketball and football if you want to. I will not be doing that, but feel free to if you want to. Start with Chef.
Okay. Fandoms. That means like just things I root for. So I won't split up K-State sports, so I'll go K-State number 1. Then I will go Chiefs 2. Then I will go Blue Jackets 3. Then I will go LeBron 4. Then I will go Columbus Crew.
Motherfucker. Future Mavs fan here.
Future Mavs fan. Yeah, give me LeBron.
I'm gonna go Russell Westbrook 1. No. K-State will be 1, obviously. 2, it is so dependent on how good the teams are, I would say.
Yes.
Because I can't put the Chiefs 2. That doesn't work. I would probably put the Red Sox 2. And I would put the Celtics 3. And, oh, man.
Chiefs or Bruins?
Yeah. Well, I was going to also put Sporting Kansas City in there at like 5.
Oh, yeah.
But now I can't. They're probably 6. So I'll probably go Chiefs 4, Bruins 5, Sporting KC 6.
It's, to your point, though, it's 100% dependent on how the team is doing. Like,
if Sporting is historically good, but they've been so ass the past few years and I got to pay $200 on Apple TV to watch them. Like, watch this team not be very good, although they're getting better. So now I'm debating about it.
I heard that they were heating up.
They're heating up. They are heating up.
They're heating up.
So
my answer, the first 2 are deadpan for me. It's K-State number 1. It's Kansas City Chiefs number 2. It's because I think back, like, K-State was the first sports team I ever cared about. It's the first sports team I ever watched games, grew up going to games every year, multiple games a year in Manhattan. So they were number 1. And then the Chiefs were really like the second team that I fell in love with. And that was back in like the year 2000 with Trent Green. I was 8 years old at that point, 7 years old, 8 years old at that point. But Trent Green, Dante Hall, Priest Holmes, Dick Vermeil as the head coach, Tony Gonzalez, like those teams were just so much fun to watch. And yeah, they'd break your heart in the playoffs, but they were a blast to watch. And you know, that's where I get my deep-seated hatred for the Raiders and the Broncos and the Patriots and some of those rivalries that exist still today. But next would be right now, it's the Avalanche. It's Colorado Avalanche. You know, coming off of the Stanley Cup run last year, I watched like 95% of the games this season. Absolutely love that. But if you asked me 8 years ago, it's the Royals, because it's dependent on how well the team is doing. And now I would probably put the Royals 5th and the Nuggets 4th. But like, I just can't even bring myself to watch a Royals game anymore because the team sucks. It's like, and I hate that the MLB doesn't have a salary cap because it doesn't completely eliminate, but more or less completely eliminates small market teams from even being competitive. And when you look at every other major sport in the United States, and I don't know if the MLS is like this. I was thinking about this when they picked up Messi. Do they have a salary cap in the MLS, Matt?
I don't think so.
Because
they have some type of, they have a weird situation with however they do money. I don't think it's an official cap, but like the number of player, I'd have to look at the whole deal now because I don't pay attention as much anymore.
Yeah, but I can't even rank the Royals like in the top 3 at this point, just because like I can't even watch the product. I don't know what ownership is thinking with how the team is being managed. I don't know if JJ Piccolo is the right answer. It's just, it sucks to watch a team just absolutely suck ass. It feels like 2002 again. And so I cling to those memories. I cling to the 2012 to 2016 Royals teams, but man, it sucks to watch. So it's Cats, Chiefs, Avs, Nuggets, Royals for me right now on June.
I'm the same way. I got
23.
I've got the Royals honorable mention because I told myself at the beginning of the year that I'm going to be more invested in the Royals, and I got excited when Bobby Witt's doing his thing
year.
And I mean, I can't even begin to tell you that I'm a Royals fan because I'm literally only there when they're good. So I was only there in 2012, and outside of that, I don't root for them, but I'll watch them, and they've been so bad this year that I can't even hold up my end of the bargain through Twitter because I just can't watch them. I'd rather watch the Reds or the Guardians. Dude, I have to watch.
My parents got engaged at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals were such a big deal to me for such a long time, and it's just like they're ass. They're so bad. It sucks to see a team suck that bad. And like baseball in general, I can't even watch it right now because the Rockies are ass too. And all the blackouts and everything. Like it's just, I wouldn't mind watching Mike Moustakas be a very sub-average player for the Rockies, but like I have to pay for a $5 ticket to go to Coors Field to even be able to watch that team to begin with. So
he plays for the Rockies now?
Yeah, dude.
See, if I had a gun to my head and you had to tell me where Mike Moustakas played, it was going to be the Reds. So I was going to have my brains blown out.
The Rockies have just become the location for washed up Royals. They have Wade Davis. They got Mike Moustakas now. They had who was Drew Butera was the backup catcher for the World Series run in 2015. Like they've all ended up at the Rockies at one point or another. So that was a good question. Thank you for all the questions from Evan. The last thing, so there was an argument that was sparked on Twitter. I think it was Caleb. I don't know his full handle or anything, but there was an argument that was sparked, about KC BBQ and where you would rank the best Kansas City barbecue spots. Let's say like top 5. That seems fair.
You're out of it on me. So I'm not in this. I will sit back and grab the popcorn for this, but I am not in any way involved in this conversation, so no hate thrown my way.
Number one for me would probably be Char Bar. Number 2.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm so excited to hear that.
Number 2 for me would be Slaps. Number 3 for me would be Joe's. Number 4 for me would be Gates. And number 5 for me would be Arthur Bryant's.
Okay. There's where we disagree. My number one's Q39. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh my God.
It is, I think, the best barbecue.
No.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
not.
Hold. We can talk about the ranking after I say it.
Hold, please.
I think Char Bar is number 2. I think it is the most underrated barbecue in Kansas City. I really do. I think it is that good. I would put Slaps at 3. I would put LC's at 4.
See, I've never had LC's. Otherwise, they'd probably be in the top 5 strictly because of Anthony Bourdain.
I would put that at 4, and I would put Joe's at 5.
Okay.
But I think Q39 is the best barbecue in Kansas City. It is an unorthodox place to get barbecue, and I say it because it is a white table barbecue compared to some of these other places. But I think the meat is excellent. I think the sides are excellent. I bring anybody who visits a Kansas City to at least 2 places, and every time they're like, Q39 is the best barbecue.
Interesting. I had it once, so I haven't had a ton of experiences at Q39. So take that caveat. But when I did have it, I got the burn ends, and they were lackluster at best. They were lackluster at best. And if you are going to tout yourself as a Kansas City barbecue place, burnt ends are what Kansas City barbecue is known for. And so if what you're known for in the city that you're in is not a good dish or it's an average dish, then I'm not going to put you on the top of the list. The sides might be great, but I mean, if I'm going to get your burnt ends and I'm not going to be amazed or wowed by those, then you don't deserve to be in my top 5.
Oh my God.
Where was Jack Stacks in all this?
Jack Stack. Jack Stack is a wannabe Q39 in my book. It's another.
That's the only one.
It's a nice. It's a nicer restaurant. Like nicer. Like it's. I mean, like it's a sit down barbecue restaurant with a wait staff, and I don't think it's as good as Q39. So
I went with super high expectations for Q39 too. So maybe I set myself up for failure there. But
I was expecting you probably ordered like the turkey and jackfruit.
Dude, we both lived in Austin. I'm not going to order smoked turkey if I'm going to barbecue.
Look, it sounds like, I mean, the burnt ends I think are good there. I think the brisket is really good there.
Good to know.
The sausage is good there.
Where at?
Q39.
Okay.
Now, Char Bar, I was not expecting to hear you say Char Bar, and I had a whole dissertation written about Char Bar and how good it is. But I think their whatever sandwich that has the pulled pork, the sausage, the fried jalapenos, the slaw, I think is the best barbecue sandwich in Kansas City. I don't care about the Z-Man.
I love the Z-Man, but Joe's, I wouldn't. I mean, dude, Slaps though, I love Slaps. Slaps
is great.
Incredible experience. Like that's what I want to experience when I go to a barbecue place. Is you like wait in line outside. You go in and it's this like rundown, dingy place. You get your meat. They're kind of mean to you, and then you go outside and then you eat it while you have a beer in hand. They serve you your beer while you're in line. Like that's what I think of when I
that's fair.
And the food, I mean, mac and cheese, the sides there were great. The burnt ends were great. The pulled pork was great. Like no complaints about Slaps.
Yeah. I really want to get Chef involved in this conversation. So I was going to ask, what is the best bowl of chili in Ohio?
Whoa. Take it easy.
Are you a Skyline guy or a Gold Star guy?
Listen, That's what you think of our culinary out in Ohio?
What is okay?
Think?
You want some wet spaghetti with some...
For everybody listening to this show, everybody's like, "What is the state food of Ohio?"
Dude, it's a meat and potato place, man. Out here, we don't have anything. We're not specialty in anything. You got to go to you have to go to Cleveland, or you have to go to Cincinnati. This place is the Columbus is the culmination of America. This is where they do all their test products out here in Columbus, because we're so bland. That's what they
say about Wichita too. Wichita is like the test market for all these chefs that are trying out new concepts to see if it
you
works
come
out
here, and if you can make it out here, then you can make it in anywhere, because we are so diverse that you will find a specialty niche. We have barbecue places here. We have you have your Jamaican spots, you have your steakhouses, you have all that here. It's just we don't have a specialty. We are not known for anything.
What do you think about Frisch's Big Boy? Do you like the tartar sauce on the burger?
Ew, no, yuck. What are you talking about? Frisch's is disgusting.
That's a Cincinnati thing. Frisch's Big Boy.
No, we have a Frisch's here in Columbus, and well, they're all over really, but disgusting. They have a salad bar. Get it out of here. This is any place that has a drive-through window and has a salad bar in it, you don't want to eat there. Stop it.
I just Googled state food of Ohio, and it brought up pierogies.
Okay.
Fuck with pierogies.
Pierogies are fire, though. I love
pierogies are fire.
That's kind of a win. 10 iconic dishes to try. Cincinnati chili, number 1.
Of course.
Buckeyes.
That's a Cincy thing.
Those are good.
Have you ever? Buckeyes delicious. A little overdone here, but whatever.
A hot brown.
That's a sandwich, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
what is that?
Turkey, tomato, and bacon, topped with Mornay cheese or Mornay sauce, and baked under a layer of cheese and breadcrumbs.
That just sounds like a turkey melt.
Yeah.
Have you ever? Yeah. Do you guys have shits on a shingle out there?
No, but I know the origin of what shits on a shingle is, because it's it was a World War II, and it was like a military.
Isn't it chipped beef on white toast?
Yeah, with gravy.
Gravy?
Yeah. That's a staple out here too.
Yeah, that was
that shit out here.
That came from a World War II ration kit. They called it shit on a shingle because it was disgusting.
Oh wait.
I mean, do they
the pinnacle of culinary everything in America.
It's so sad, because I want in on those conversations, because I could definitely critique barbecue. I love barbecue, and I would give you a hell of a top 5 if I've tried 1/5 of those places that you guys said. I would put my forte into it, but I haven't had them. The only place I had is Jack Stack's. That's it.
Sounds like a trip to Kansas City is in order.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was like, is this it? Because if this is Kansas City barbecue, not impressed.
Yeah. There's a reason it wasn't in the top 5.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why Q39 isn't in Joe's top 5. And you best believe it's because just he didn't order the right damn thing. That's why.
And that's fair. That's a fair critique. If I didn't order the right thing, but at the same time, if you're going to a barbecue place in Kansas City, you should be able to order burnt ends and not be disappointed by them, in my opinion.
Just didn't know how to eat them.
All right. That's anybody have anything else before we drop off here? I've got some food to eat. So for all of us here at Cocaine Willie, for all of you listening to the feed, give Cocaine Willie a follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to be notified of new episodes when they drop. Leave us a review with your feedback. We're going to publish this on YouTube as well. So we'll drop the details for the channel once we have it created. Finally, if you're on Twitter or Instagram, follow the show at Cocaine Willie, or follow us individually on Twitter. I am at Bob Trollsby. Chef is at Chef Andre Napier. and Matt is at Matt Marchesini. Chef.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, baby.
We are all coke and no joke. Wildcat Country.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Hey, Paula, if you're still listening, she likes my butt.